How's it going, everyone? It's Vivi and I am back to finally talk about the secret ending. So guys, if you do get confused, I understand, cause there's gonna be a lot of things to tackle in this video, okay? So let's start. The secret movie begins with a shot of the ground, a reflection with two different prominent colors, one being the dark, and the other emphasizing on light, or daylight, basically light. Kingdom Hearts is notorious for symbolism, right? It's always been a thing, so does it even remotely sound crazy, me bringing up the term symbolism in this scene? These two reflections, I believe, could symbolize two different planes of existence. I'll get back to it to, the idea of planes. Just hold on to your seats. Sora wakes up in the light side, comparing it to Riku's scenes we get shortly afterwards. We get another shot of a reflection. This one, dark side again. Notice how they show reflection of Sora on the bright side, light side. Sora looks around all confused. The way he gets off the ground is a nod to the World Ends With You character, Neku Sakuraba. In Twewy, short for The World Ends With You, Neku wakes up in the Scramble Crossing, just like how Sora does in this scene. Our main focus right now, guys, is going to be Sora. I'll move on to Riku afterwards. The camera rotates and then pause. We see building 104. The same building with 104 in Twewy's Shibuya. 104 is actually a reference to the 109 building in real-life Shibuya. Due to legal reasons, I'm guessing they're sticking to 104. To me, 4 key things about Sora's part. The 104 building, referring to Shibuya. Sora waking up in the scramble just like Neku. The abuse of the power of waking, coming with the price. The time in his world being over, which was what young Xehanort was implying when he disappeared. By disappearing, he wound up in Shibuya. Hold on, I'm getting to it. A second chance has been given to Sora. He will embark onto the Reaper's game. Not to mention, Sora stares at his left hand only. There could be a timer yet to be revealed. This timer I'm referring to, I'll explain it later in the video. Neku in Dream Drop Distance had his timer on his left hand, but in the original Twewy, it was his right hand. If Sora were trying to figure out if he's alive, wouldn't he check both hands, all of his body, feet, and all that? Yeah, he looks alive here, but you know what I mean? He's only staring at his left hand. How did he end up here? I'm guessing his connection of hearts to others? More precisely, being connected to Neku and the gang. Didn't he make a promise to them in Dream Drop Distance? To see them in Shibuya? He did. Now, Shibuya didn't appear in Kingdom Hearts 3, so to me, it seems like Nomura wants to implement The World Ends With You in the next installment. Maybe DLC, people have been talking about DLC, the secret movie. Now, before I continue, oh boy, let's dive into the whole concept of the Reaper's game. Note, I will dive into the spoilers category of The World Ends With You. I'm gonna give a short summary. I'm not gonna dive too much into the nitty-gritty detail, as this is not a The World Ends With You video. You be the judge of that after listening to my summary, okay? Are you guys ready? Let's go. Twewy. What about it? Okay, first things first, for you Twewy veterans out there, please bear with me, okay? Like I said, this is not a Twewy video, it's just a summary, okay? We have Joshua and Hanekoma, or Mr. H for short if you've played the game. Some people call these two individuals either a god or an angel. Angel specifically being Mr. H. These beings have the capabilities of moving from one plane of existence to another. If you've played The World Ends With You, angels and gods especially have high frequency. In order to visit these different planes of existence, they need to lower their frequency. By doing so, these beings also have to reduce their power. So these two are basically very powerful people. In Twewy, we have what we call the Reaper's game, a 7-day challenge towards a second chance at life. This game takes place in a parallel plane to Shibuya, called the Underground, or UG for short. According to the secret reports of Twewy, the UG is a plane above the real ground, aka real Shibuya. The Underground, or UG, is where souls of players are taken as a way towards a second chance at life, which seems to be the case for Sora. These souls cannot be seen by real citizens of the real ground. To enter this parallel plane, the UG, there is an entry fee, be it your dreams, your memories, a person physically, altogether, it can be whatever. By winning the 7-day challenge, you get your entry fees back. Well, more than one entry fee if you have to go through the same game multiple times. According to Hanekoma, from the reports, the composer did not impose the entry upon players to cause them anguish. In experiencing life without the thing one most values, players are forced to re-examine just how crucial those things really are. The hope is that by the close of the game, players will be able to take a hard look at themselves and be able to take on the future with a new outlook on life. Sora being part of the Reaper's game and talking about entry fees. What did Sora say in the Keyblade Graveyard when everyone was disappearing? That he couldn't do this by himself. That he was able to reach this point thanks to his friends. Are you able to connect the dots? In the Reaper's game, we have rankings such as the following: the producer, the composer, the conductor, the game master, the Reaper, which has 2 subcategories, the support, harrier if that's how you pronounce it, and officer, and the player, which is below the Reaper. I don't think it's necessary to go over each of these ranks as restrictions, okay? The point is, once a player in the underground gains a lot of strength and points, they decide if they want to become a Reaper. Reapers act as a filtering system to test the players and their faith of humanity. And why? Because Mr. H, or the producer, explains that Joshua, the composer, cannot test everyone. It's not possible. So, with that, we have a bunch of Reapers to do the work for him. The producer, by the way, is Mr. H, if you're confused, who follows the request of the composer Joshua. Joshua, the composer, has full authority over the Reaper's game. It's his game. He decides the rules and appoints Reapers, Game Master status. Reapers, you decide if you want to become one. As for Game Masters, he entitles you to one. Can a composer be replaced? Yes, by defeating them. Long story short, Joshua the composer wanted to destroy underground Shibuya. This is probably something you guys who've played Twewy have been confused about. Joshua did not want to erase all of Shibuya, real ground. No, he wanted to erase the underground due to its lack of faith in humanity. A game between him and the conductor was made, which was over the life of the underground Shibuya. If the conductor were to lose, then he would erase Shibuya, the underground. If the conductor would win, Shibuya remains alive. Well, the Yuji underground, don't get confused. Joshua used Neku Sakuraba as his proxy, or in other words, his puppet, call it. And why did Joshua do that? Why did he need a proxy? Well, according to the reports again, there's this provisional rule for the composer Joshua to be absent. Anywho, Neku defeats the conductor and Neku and Joshua reach a duel. By shooting Joshua, Shibuya would be spared. Neku didn't shoot Joshua. Joshua shot Neku. Technically, that was game over for Neku. Old Neku and his personality. Considering those, he would have shot Joshua. Didn't he try and kill Shiki at one point? Since Neku didn't shoot Joshua, he saw that there's still faith in humanity through Neku. If Neku Sakuraba could change, that would mean Shibuya could change as well. If you want to get any deeper, okay, Joshua started admiring Neku and his friends. He felt this connection. Also, about the Reaper's game, let's not forget, there's also noise, which are creatures who usually exist both on and in between the underground and the real ground. Entities without conscious will, only to drive to multiply. Thus they constantly thirst for soul, attacking players and possessing humans in the real ground. In the words of Hanekoma, does it ring a bell? Kinda similar to the nature of the unversed in Kingdom Hearts. Unversed are physically present, that's the difference between the two. To defeat noise in the underground, you know, the Reaper's game, players have to form a pact or partner. Without a partner, they're in trouble and there's the risk of time running out. They do have timers engraved on their palms. Partners help the player use their imagination to activate psychs. Psychs being powers, pretty much contained within the pins they receive. Fire, magic, all that kind of stuff. Now what is this imagination really? What does it mean? I mean, the word itself says imagination. It is what it is. Going with the soul, being the mind in Kingdom Hearts, the underground allows one's soul/mind to conjure whatever they please, if they have the strength to do so. So, with the summary pretty much over, what does any of this have to do with the gang in Dream Drop Distance? Twewy's gang, precisely. The first response I might get is, well, dude, it's not canon, don't need to break your head over this. Hey, that's something I'd also say at first glance. But seeing the secret ending, and a high probability of Sora being in Shibuya's underground, it could be possible Nomura wants to tie in Twewy and Kingdom Hearts. Is this a result of no sequel? Who knows? I mean, look, we've never gotten Final Fantasy worlds, and nor are they planning on ever introducing Final Fantasy worlds. As for the Disney part, yeah, it's non-canon, we're used to that, but Twewy, we're talking about a Square Enix IP, so the situation could maybe be different. Please bear with me, okay? Report 19 of Mr. H in Twewy brings up the concept of parallel worlds. This is something that's very important. Countless numbers of such parallel worlds exist within a single plane, be it the real ground or the underground, and travel among them is possible through the use of imagination. Conversely, angels are beings meant to jump between worlds, thus such travel is a simple matter. When Mr. H was looking for Joshua, who was in this parallel Shibuya at one point, Mr. H also brings up an alternate self, well, an alternate version of himself, fearing that he would get into contact with him. He didn't want that to happen. The point is, it's highly likely another Joshua exists. If Joshua is really this god of Shibuya, you might argue and say, well, there's only one Joshua. We don't care about Mr. H, there could be multiple Mr. H's, but Joshua, he's just one being. But are we really sure of that? Anyways, let's talk about something else now. In Dream Drop Distance, Neku, Shiki beat the whole game. It seemed like they all knew each other already. So this, I believe, nullifies the events of Dream Drop Distance taking place prior to the Reaper game in Twewy. This is just me saying if Nomura is considering to make Twewy canon within Kingdom Hearts. Let's just forget about that one. Due to the connection Joshua has with these people, and the fact that they know each other. Heck, I mean, Joshua even says, "Hello, Neku, how long the days without you have felt." So when they came here, they knew each other. He refused to let their souls perish forever. Joshua says in their world, something happened to them that brought their existence to an end. So let's look at two things. One, in this alternate Shibuya, all these guys did go through a Reaper game once. Originally, they all got resurrected, but since all of them formed a gang of friendship, they all led themselves here. Something happened to the gang altogether. Since they all became friends, Joshua decided to give them a chance since he cares about them. He explains he took their last remaining fragments, aka their dreams, and put them within Traverse Town. Traverse Town being a world that appeared to Joshua, and reformed thanks to his dreams. If you want to include the word imagination, it does make sense. Joshua used his imagination to change up Traverse Town. From Hanikoma's words, from the New Day side story on the Switch, a considerable imagination is required to create such a world, far greater than that of any run-of-the-mill Reaper. This had to do with the alternate Shibuya which happened in this bonus content, a Shibuya which was created from noise. The fact that he also dreamed up Sora in Riku, saying he's omniscient. He used Rhyme's dreams to get here, and is hanging on to Rhyme's dream as a portal between actual Traverse Town within the dream world and Sora's dream. And note, Rhyme also lost her memories in Dream Drop Distance, using Rhyme's dreams for this world. And it could be possible that was Rhyme's entry fee for the Reaper's game. In the original game, Twewy, Rhyme's entry fee was her memories of her brother Beat for week 1, and her dreams for week 2. But if these people were friends already, why put them through a second Reaper game again if Joshua has the power to resurrect people? Some might say, well, you know, that's the only way to resurrect them. Joshua has to follow a bunch of rules. But was that ever written somewhere? In order to resurrect someone, you have to put them within the Reaper game. Am I mistaken here? Resurrecting or reincarnation has to do with Joshua's imagination. Really, it's not really tied to the Reaper's game. Am I wrong here? The Reaper's game is primarily to test players. Option 2. The gang we saw in Dream Drop Distance, they're from a parallel Shibuya. They were friends there before this Reaper game in Traverse Town. But okay, what about the underground Shibuya in that alternate timeline, which I speak of? If Sora is within that underground in the secret ending, why didn't Joshua just use the underground of Shibuya from the get-go? Why did he have to use Traverse Town? It could be possible that in this alternate Shibuya, Joshua didn't have the authority over it, over the underground. So his best option was a dream world, a world which always appears to one in need. But still, if Traverse Town did appear to him, why would you put them through a Reaper game again if you were friends with these people already? I mean, if they didn't look like friends from the get-go, we can say, okay, he really only found Traverse Town and put them to a test. But guys, this is just me trying to fit the canon within The World Ends With You. If Nomura is considering this, the idea is Sora ends up in an alternate Shibuya's underground. Going with the whole idea of alternate timelines of Shibuya, I believe Sora is in the underground of said Shibuya. If Sora made a promise to the gang, to me it sounds like he will meet them again, right? And remember these people. Or Sora could be in an alternate Shibuya, completely different than the gang in Dream Drop Distance. If you guys, let's say we get Twewy and Neku appears again, we can simply say, okay, this is just happening in an alternate Shibuya. Basically what I'm saying is, if this is true, if Sora did visit a different Shibuya, he will meet a new Neku, new Shiki, a new beat, and a new rhyme. Idea is, alternate Shibuya, whatever the case. We can even squeeze in the new concept of world lines, alternate timelines. Or, this alternate Shibuya could be the Shibuya from Twewy. It'll play out that way. So if that's true, if that's Nomura's way of implementing the actual The World Ends With You game within the next Kingdom Hearts, then I guess we can reconsider the whole non-canon situation. I know I'm entering the confusion territory, okay? Whatever happened in Dream Drop Distance with Neku and everyone was from an alternate timeline, with alternate Neku and friends. So the one Sora might visit in the next Kingdom Hearts is just a different Shibuya altogether. This different Shibuya could be the actual Shibuya from the original game. Do you understand where I'm going with this? If so, if Sora does meet Neku again, a different Neku, the Neku from the actual original Twewy game, well, Sora will get all confused as to why Neku doesn't remember him. But going with the idea of chain of memories, there's a chain. Remember when the gang felt like they knew Sora in Twilight Town? Roxas's memories was resonating. The gang also met Roxas and VTNVIVI over 2 days. They had a few conversations here and there, but what I'm getting at is, Sora's heart will resonate with Neku's heart, and Neku will feel just like Hainer Pants Olette, like, have I ever met you before? You look familiar. This is just me assuming Sora's game partner will be Neku. Or Shiki, who knows? You get the point. Like really, Sora might team up with someone else because Neku and company from Dream Drop Distance made it to the real ground. That saying, Sora is in the Shibuya where the gang from Dream Drop Distance originated from. If he does meet Neku from Dream Drop Distance, if we are in fact talking about that timeline, I wonder why Joshua put Neku in the Reaper's game again, especially in Shibuya's underground this time, because the first time everything happened in Dream Drop Distance's Traverse Town. Whichever the case really, Sora will in fact need a partner or a pact. But I don't know, I still have a feeling Nomura wants to incorporate the original gang from Twewy. If so, then it's a different timeline altogether. I know I keep going back and forth with the world timeline and alternate. I know it's getting confusing, but I just hope you're on the right track, okay? You guys might say, Sora doesn't need a partner, he has a Keyblade. He doesn't need any psychs, in fact. Careful. Sora using his Keyblade will be considered cheating, in my opinion. And what does cheating result in the Reaper's game? A repeat of the game, from what I've learned. Similar to how Joshua and Twewy, the original game, intervened and caused Neku to start over for a third time. This was explained in the secret reports for those of you curious. Sora's Keyblade will be considered outside help or intervention, if we're talking about its full power. Hold up. The whole Reaper's game is about forming a pact. Unless, of course, Joshua allows Sora to use his Keyblade. And I mean, it is a Kingdom Hearts game. Yeah, I understand it's under Joshua's authority, but maybe Joshua might let Sora slide for some reason. But as I said, it is Kingdom Hearts. I don't think Square Enix will really get rid of the Keyblade for this segment. So here's what I think. I believe this will be their excuse as to why Sora restarts at level 1. Keep his Keyblade alright, but strip his powers completely. Boom. Keyblade or magic will be utilized through pins, psychs. Or let me put it this way, the pins will allow Sora to use his Keyblade. Whatever the case is, his powers will be stripped in the beginning. And also don't forget, in order to enter the Reaper's game, Sora needs an entry fee. Does the wild card Luxord gave to Sora be an entrance fee perhaps? That card is said to turn tables, as in perhaps Sora having a second chance towards life. Sora might realize that card is missing from his pocket. Who would take it? Joshua, or whoever has authority over the underground of this version of Shibuya. Or there's a theory I've read in the comments, many of you guys brought this up. When Sora vanishes on Destiny Islands, assuming it was symbolic, you guys have been saying, the fact everyone is happy, well, it could be possible it's because they lost their memories of Sora, only Kairi having her remnants due to their strong connection. You know, remember the scene with the Papu fruit? Tying people together? Using that information, you guys theorized, why not apply it to Sora's entry fee? His entry fee being his memories, his friends no longer remembering Sora. I mean, hey, Rhyme, beats sister. First entry was her memories of her brother. Boom. Some might say, Vivi, is Riku going to be Sora's partner or pack in the underground? For now, I don't believe so. I don't think Riku died, unless Nomura makes him die for some reason. With the idea of the real ground and the underground, it's possible Riku found himself either on the real ground, Virum Rex video game, a world within a video game, or a complete different world line or alternate timeline, a different Tokyo. One thing out of the way, Sora and Riku, I just said it pretty much, are both in Tokyo, but different districts. Sora resides in Shibuya, Riku resides in Shinjuku, and in real life they're like 4 kilometers away if you walk. But really, Sora and Riku, although in Tokyo, it doesn't seem like they could be in the same Tokyo. I mean, they could, but if Sora's in the Reaper game, he's not in the same version of Riku's Tokyo. About Riku and the real ground. Well, technically, the Reaper's game happens in Shibuya, from what we've learned from Twewy so far, but Riku could simply still be on the real ground, but away from Shibuya. He's in Shinjuku, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building. It's right there. Thus, the symbolism I said from the beginning. Sora and Riku lie in 2 different planes of Tokyo. The real ground represented as darker, and Shibuya, its underground, as bright. The underground, remember, lies above the real ground, thus symbolizing a higher plane towards angels, heaven being represented as light, closer to light. If we are talking about the real ground and underground, then perhaps Yozora exists in an actual world outside of Toy Box. Basically, now we are talking about Riku. Let's go. As I said, 3 possibilities for Riku. Him being in the real ground, in Tokyo's Shinjuku. 2, he's within Virum Rex, the video game in Toy Box. Or 3, different alternate Tokyo altogether. Let's start with the real ground. How would he end up here? The way he wakes up in this world, it's as if he got yanked there, without knowing prior he was going to visit this place. He looks confused as well, looking around. Going with the notion of how hearts are connected to Sora, Riku ends up in Tokyo. Honestly, there's so many ideas one can think of as to how Riku wound up in this place. Yozora, a video game character within Toy Box, appears to be in this version of Tokyo. Can I just say, the Virum Rex commercial we got before visiting Toy Box reeks of Final Fantasy XIII Versus. Long story short, guys, Nomura's original vision of Noctis and his story never came to be. He was originally the director of FF13 Versus. Eventually, the role as director went to Tabata. Let me bring up a quote from Nomura. You can feel the energy in this quote. I harness the burning anger in my heart into what I create. FF13 Versus? Anyone? The ad of Virum Rex screams Noctis with Ignis, Arden, Prompto mixed looking person. You know, the hair. Closer to Prompto, I'd say. The girl, well, that's Stella. Come on. A star necklace, as opposed to Luna's earrings? The setting itself is much closer to the darker version of Insomnia, inspired by the real-life locations of Shinjuku. Now, FF15 is still inspired by Shinjuku, but Nomura's version was much darker looking. I don't want to dive into the comparison too much. There's probably a bunch of videos out there doing comparisons, okay? But I do want to point out this. Virum Rex translates to True King from Latin. Yozora translates to Night Sky from Japanese. Noctis Caelum translates to Night Sky from Latin. Behemoth was brought up by Rex in Toy Box. Rex compares Sora to Yozora. Sora and Noctis are Nomura's favorite characters. He said this, if I had to choose a favorite character, I would say Sora and Noctis. Why them? Of course Sora, I've been together with them for more than 10 years now. This is the first game I've been with a character for such a long time. He's very, very special for me, and he's been adopted by Disney also. So he's a very, very good boy. More like a good son, actually. Do you know the name Sora means sky? In Japanese, in Noctis, his family name is Caelum, which means sky as well, so basically Noctis mean night sky. So there are kind of complete opposites to each other. There is a reason why I named these characters as opposites. And then we get this. It's beyond the point, but it's funny. I actually don't sympathize or empathize with Sora at all. Instead, he relates to the game's mysterious villains Xehanort or likely Ansem, anyone who's fallen prey to their dark natures. I think I'm closer to those characters, so Sora is like my enemy. How I always think of him is, I would unleash my attacks on him, and then draw him in a way that I think he will be able to make a comeback at me. In that sense, I really think that Sora is just like an opposite personality character to who I am. What's up with Yozora's eyes, you might say? I don't think it has anything to do with, the Master's eye, or I don't know what. It could just be heterochromia. Goofy has blue and red eyes in Monstropolis, really. Okay fine, the red eyes could be a throwback to Noctis' ability to turn his eyes red in the old trailers of FF13 Versus. Did I forget to mention? That secret ending, Riku's part, sounds like Somnus. Yes it does. And you know it does. The first initial notes, yeah. Yozora seems to lie in Riku's section of Tokyo, Shinjuku, on top of the Metropolitan Building. If Riku is on the real ground with Yozora, we can't jump to the conclusion and say, oh, Yozora will be Riku's partner in the Reaper's game. Riku, I don't think he died as I said previously. And 2, Reaper's game usually happens in Shibuya unless Nomura is planning something new. Yeah, the ad of Virum Rex has a banner written Shibuya on its center street, but that could just be, you know, Yozora and friends being in Shibuya at that point in the game. Okay. With the New Day content for a final remix, The World Ends With You on the Switch, spoilers again, Joshua says, Shinjuku has been erased. Looking at Report 1 of Twewy by Mr. H, Joshua's original intent was to erase underground Shibuya. So Shinjuku being erased, are we really thinking about real Shinjuku altogether, the actual city? It could just be the underground again. With the erasure of an underground, it can have repercussions on its real ground. If Twewy never gets a sequel, is Nomura wanting to incorporate Twewy in Kingdom Hearts now? And is Nomura making it seem like the Reaper's game can also take place in Shinjuku now? If so, here's what I think. I'm still sticking to Riku being on the real ground, okay? Shinjuku's underground is gone. That's what Joshua was referring to. Repercussions, while Riku will have to deal with that, along with Yozora. If both undergrounds, Shibuya and Shinjuku, were originally connected, then we can say Sora's imagination in Shibuya's underground influenced Shinjuku's real ground, hence Sora's crown on one of the buildings. Again, going back to the reports of New Day, Addendum C, a pseudo-parallel world like that one is special in that it is heavily dependent upon its creator. A considerable imagination is required to create such a world, far greater than that of any run-of-the-mill Reaper. Basically, that's talking about the setting of New Day, Shibuya created from massive noise. And then there's this new mystery girl fans call Hype-chan, the new 7 days on the 104 building in Shibuya. Will she be in Kingdom Hearts if we do consider this whole canon thing of Twewy? And will Sora meet her in this version of Shibuya in the next Kingdom Hearts? I'm jumping the wagon here, okay? I'm just probably far-fetched. Next scenario for Riku is he enters Virum Rex, the video game, in Toy Box. He simply goes back to Toy Box. Well, goes to Toy Box, he's never been to Toy Box, in order to retrace Sora's steps in order to find him. Didn't Mickey and Riku retrace Terra's steps in Radiant Garden? Yes, they did. Him waking up like that could explain it. He got yanked into the video game and just landed on his stomach or something. Third scenario. He's in a different world line, a complete different Tokyo altogether. That could really explain Yozora's existence. If he's in either of those two scenarios, the video game or an alternate Shinjuku altogether, then how do we explain the crown? If he were in the real ground, which was scenario number 1, the crown could have been justified. Is this just the aesthetics we're talking about? I mean, nothing is a coincidence with Nomura. It's gotta mean something. I guess we can still apply the idea of imagination. How one's mind can affect the world, how hearts are connected. That crown could be a hint for Riku that Sora has been in this place in some shape or form. As for this mysterious guy in the robe now, that's the Master of Masters for sure. I'm not even going to argue. That mannerism of his, moving his fingers, shaping him like a heart, that's the Master of Masters. Come on now. He is for sure in Tokyo. That we know. We noticed the Metropolitan Building far away. The building which Yozora was sitting on, Shinjuku. Are we supposed to believe that the Master of Masters faded, disappeared from back cover only to end up here automatically? Did he also abuse the power of waking and wound up here, knowing that his time was limited? If we go with the idea of limited time, you know, after abusing such power, the power of waking, then we can say Sora was actually in Destiny Islands and disappeared due to his limited time. That instant, he's gone, poof. If Master of Masters somehow wound up in the Reaper's game due to his abuse of power, and somehow wound up in the future, then we should say that the Reaper's game has expanded onto further ground. Because look, the Master of Masters is not in Shibuya's district. Because all we know so far, apart from the new day ending with the Joshua, the Reaper's game usually takes place in Shibuya. But if we go with the new day segment, the last cutscene, could be possible that the Reaper's game will expand. meaning it could take place outside of Shibuya as well. As for whether or not Joshua has authority over all districts within the Reapers game, that I don't know if it's ever been explained. If it has been, pointed out in the comments. But really, this could just be the Master of Masters traveling to Tokyo, where Riku is and Yozora. He got summoned thanks to Lushu. Somehow it's gonna get explained eventually, and he travels to Tokyo for some reason. Is he looking for Sora? Is he looking for Riku? Is he looking for the 7 new lights? What I mean by the 7 new lights, the cutscene we get with Xehanort and Ericus in the epilogue, we have new 7 pieces, pretty much referencing the 5 foretellers and the Master and Lushu, and there's only one piece, Sora's crown piece, but we're not too sure of how many lights there are. There could be only one, but then again, you guys have pointed out, Vivi, have you looked at the box art of Kingdom Hearts 3 again? We have 13 lights on the box art, so it could be possible it's the opposite this time. 7 dark, 13 pieces of light. As for the building itself, I don't know if it has anything to do with Shibuya, but it could have to do something with this realistic type of city we have in the secret movie. Last thing for the video, I've said a lot of things. As I said, there's a lot of things to tackle. If you're confused, I really understand, okay? I feel you. About the chin, I've read a couple of places that, oh, is that a replica? Replicas usually have a face when they're moving and all that. So no, I believe that's simply his chin we see. His actual chin, not a puppet. But anyways, guys, this is it for the video. You know what, let me quickly re-summarize the meat of the video. The gang in Twewy, in Dream Drop Distance, they're from an alternate Shibuya. If Sora meets this gang in that alternate Shibuya, then I'm wondering how them being present again in the Reapers game is going to get explained. The next scenario is Sora is in an alternate Shibuya, but this alternate Shibuya is the actual Shibuya from the actual game. Sora interacting with Neku and Neku becoming his partner. That's pretty much what I was going for in this video, okay? So with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure you have plenty of questions, cause yeah, there was a lot of info to go over. So please, feel free to share anything in the comments. Questions, stuff like that, leave it all in the comment section below. And as always, I've been Vivi, and thank you so much for watching.